male can say whatever they want. They're exercising their privilege. What a jerk. And then there is a young black woman who entered the room full of these cigar-chomping white dudes. Well, one of the things that I would feel, too, if I entered that room with the cigar-chomping dudes, I'd feel a little worried, you know? I'd be like, well, should I speak up? When do I speak up? And when I do speak up, what's at stake? And, ooh, I kind of flubbed a little word. Am I screwed? Is it all over now? Can I ever speak again? That's a really conventional outsider pattern that happened to you at the Thanksgiving party, too, or when you were the best person at the wedding, or like, there are these situations that happen. The room has, I think, an obligation as much as the recruiting department to operate a little bit differently to make it possible to be someone new at the party. That's what I was noticing, and I wonder how you handle.
Can I actually follow up with a question on that? That's super interesting thought, because what part of that is conscious and what is subconscious, and what part of it is like trained, because being exclusive is supposed to be a good thing, right? Do you think this is at least highly correlated with how we do business in America and how the street runs these very single-minded metrics, like same-store sales quarter over quarter, and we compromise every other metric?
I think you can do well. I think the teams do better. I mean, I think what you were gesturing at, and in some of the literature this is true as well, so they did, whatever. There's some MIT person at Media Lab, Sandy Pentland. And they did a bunch of experiments on thousands of groups. And in these groups, they took the same people but juggled them differently. And they also had the groups managed differently. Like there was a different rule set to follow in the room. And then they had to do stuff. It looked like work, but they were games. It was like make a house of cards, get through this maze, whatever. And so the groups are trying to do some stuff. Really tangible and measurable how well the people did. And in these different types of groups, they constructed artificially these different scenarios. So there would be groups where there'd be somebody there who's like 10 years junior to the others, no expertise. There's a bunch of PhDs and there's some clown in the room, and maybe they look a bit different and all the rest. And the person would make some suggestions in the meeting as the team's trying to figure out what to do. And the suggestions would all be wrong. The person actually didn't know anything and actually did not contribute a specific idea that was actually the tangible benefit. That team did better. Those teams did better and they solved the problem faster. Interesting. Because the team worked differently. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fascinating, I think. But at the same time, right, like my hypothesis is that tied to how just the economy in the U.S. has evolved, just the wage gap, for example, or between genders, or the disparity in income between the top 1% and everyone below, I think that all is very, very highly correlated with our approach in the past, right? In the past, it used to be like, okay, we're going to get awesome together. But then there came a time when everyone was like, nope, we're going to get ahead and shut the door behind us. And in some ways, I think that has contributed greatly. But at the same time, like we're still I guess in more traditional terms, the best knowledge or innovation economy in the world, especially when it comes to tech or whatever people want to say tech is. So there's conflicting arguments, but in the same time, like being in Silicon Valley, but also spending a lot of time in Germany and having gone to Techstars in Texas, right? I think that balance between living in a bubble within a bubble within a bubble, which is the Valley, and then having more mainstream experiences that are closer to Heartland America, I think that trains our discipline to empathize with both sides. And from our data, we also say that giving people the opportunity or having a room that is open to let you be, right, all comes from empathy.